Hi guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the iStorage datAshur Pro 2. Now this is one of the most secure flash drives in the world, and I'm going to explain why throughout this video. But first off, you should know the storage capacities it comes in and also the prices. Now the variant I've got in front of me is a 256GB model. It can be found in the UK for around £280, and in the US it's around $360. Now that is a lot of money. In terms of storage options, you've got 4GB, 8GB, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256 and 512GB of storage to choose from. So you've got a lot of variants there and also different price tags. Links will be down in the description below, which I urge you to check out. And also go on iStorage's website as well to check out their full specs and details about the flash drive. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Now I'd like to talk about the build quality and design. This thing feels like it's built out of brick. There's an aluminium casing on the exterior, and when you unveil it, the thing feels pretty sturdy and has got a pretty large hook over here which allows you to put it on your keyring. Now the weight of the actual flash drive itself is around 27 grams, whilst with its protector on top of it, it goes up to 36 grams. Now in terms of sizing, so to just give you an idea, with a ruler over here, so not the technical specifications, but it's around 8.5 centimeters in terms of length. It's around 1.8 centimeters in terms of its width, and in terms of its depth, it's just under or just over 1 centimeters. So it's a little bit chunky in comparison to some USB drives that you can find out there. But the reason behind that is because it has a 10-pin keypad at the front, let alone the shift and unlock button. Now these are used to essentially access the drive. And this is the reason why it's kind of its selling point. It is an encrypted 256 AES drive, which gives it middle grade certifications, and to the point where it actually gets government certifications to the level of NATO. So you can imagine that this drive is pretty secure. Better still, if you were to try and disassemble it, it will automatically erase all of its data, and or if you try and input it more than 10 times in terms of the code, it will also factory reset and erase all the data that's on the drive, and therefore go back to a factory default and cannot be recovered. At least that's what we're told by iStorage. In order to test this, I inputted code several times of the one I had, and I actually found it to be very much the case. When I then plugged the USB drive back into my PC, it asked me, do I want to format it? And there was no way of actually accessing it via the disk partition on Windows or via a boot drive. I couldn't access the data that was previously there. It was purely a wiped drive. So there's that function, and let's make it even cooler. Like if you're in James Bond type of scenario and you have to quickly delete your data, you can also do a factory reset or a quick erasure, which essentially deletes all the data again, very much in the same fashion of a brute force attack, and essentially wipes the data of the drive altogether. I tested that and it does work. Now in terms of storage format, this comes in exFAT storage. That means it's cross-compatible between Windows and Mac devices, so you don't have to reformat it. But if you so wish to format it to a more a faster platform, in other words, if you are using Windows and you want to use NTFS, you can do so, or you can use Journalize, I think it is on Mac OS, and therefore optimize it for that system. Now in order for me to ensure that this drive was going to be cross-compatible between Mac OS or Windows, I wanted to make sure it was using the exFAT format. And in this respect, what I did is I put it to Crystal Disk Mark and also ASSD benchmark in order to find its read-write speeds. Now, given the price of the drive, you'd expect much faster speeds. Even though it's using USB 3.2 Gen 1, it does still have relatively slow speeds for what it technically has to offer. Other drives out there, be it consumer grade ones, or even micro SD or SD cards, have much faster speeds on offer. However, that is not why you're buying this device. It is, well, essentially the reason why you are actually buying the device is because of its certifications and also because of its security. So let's quickly go through how you actually use it. First off, if you want to unlock it, it's pretty simple. You press the shift button for a little while, comes up with a flashing logo on the unlock mode, then goes red, and then from here you can then input your code and then unlock the device. It's pretty simple. In terms of unlocking it, there's two different modes you can unlock it in. In admin mode, which essentially is, let's say you're an organization, or you're yourself, you're the person, or you can set it to user mode. So for example, if I was a company, let's say I'm Microsoft CEO and I wanted to give it to my, I don't know, deputy head, I wanted to have them as a user whilst I was the admin and give them only read-only access, I could do that by setting up a user profile through the pin code settings. Now the pin code settings do get a little bit complicated, however, and there is a lot of different combinations that you can do. And I would very much urge you that if you were to buy this, make sure you read through the manual and give yourself a good idea of what to expect and what you can potentially do in terms of setting up for either yourself or other people. In my case, it was just myself, so I set myself as an admin and used this as an admin user. But of course, just for the purpose of a review, I also did want to test this user functionality, and also if I could add or remove a user. I did that and also gave a user a read-only access, and therefore when I tried to put in stuff into the drive, it would only tell me this was only a read-only device, and you'll be able to see from the screenshot over here just to prove that. Now I should also say, if you have the USB drive plugged into your PC and were to safely remove it via your PC or let's say Mac or any device it is, it will automatically lock straight away. The same goes if you were to unplug the device, it automatically closes everything that's on it and doesn't allow you access. If you were to re-plug it in, it does go again as a locked device. You can either unlock it whilst it's still plugged into its USB port, or as you might normally do, is unlock it prior to it actually being plugged into the USB port in the first place, and then therefore gives you access to either, again, depending on the password that you put in and the mode, be it admin mode or user mode. So in my case, it was admin mode. Now aside basic storage functionalities, what else does this thing have? Well, it's also got a bootable device. It can be used as a bootable device, so you can install an OS on it and essentially boot straight from this USB, which is pretty nifty, specifically if you have different sort of devices you want to plug into, or you're going somewhere and you want that bootable OS to be there, you can do so with this USB drive. So now we get onto the title of this video. Is this the most secure drive in the world? And honestly, there are other solutions out there. I won't be oblivious to the fact that there are other solutions out there, but not many of them offer the same sort of certifications and classifications and also build quality, design and speeds that this iStorage device does. I can't comment on their performance, I can't comment on what they offer because I haven't seen them myself. I've only looked on them and researched them online. But what I will say, from what I've researched and even from what I've used myself on this drive itself, it is very much the most secure flash drive in the world. It is something that I thought wouldn't really be possible in such a small form factor, and the fact that you've got relatively decent speeds given its size and class, and the fact that you've got Aldrich certificates and also a fully encrypted device means that you have ultimately the most secure flash drive in the world at the palm of your hands, essentially. And given the fact that you can get it in a variety of different sizes, storage capacities, and up to 512 gigabytes, that's going to be enough for a lot of people to back up their entire picture library, for example, or even their entire documents or even OS into one single drive. So ultimately, I would recommend this product to anyone that's looking for that. I understand it's expensive, I understand it won't appeal to a lot of people out there who just want a USB drive, but if you want a secure flash drive and you want one of the best, if not the best in the world, then you should consider the iStorage datAshur Pro2. So this has been another unbiased, unpaid, independent review. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, make sure you give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more honest content, Favourite and share if you feel that this drive might appeal to one of your family and friends, and let me know in the comments below what you think of this drive, if you own it or thinking about it. I'll really be intrigued to hear your thoughts. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed, take care and bye bye.